All right, welcome everybody to round number 2 of our weekly Uncharted Realms event. I'm Brent, sitting next to the streamer to be named, and we're bringing you some awesome Kano v Chain action. And we got a special player in the house. We got DM Armada rocking the chain up here, winning his first round. And we got Jason again. We saw him in round number 1 get a little roasty against Bolton. So this should be an awesome round with a lot of arcane damage coming through. So DM Armada's rocking 4 no rune there. That's the flipped over cards in his equipment slots. It keeps it easy. Set up. Jason over here running the same equipment, the talismanic lens, the metacarpus nodes, the robes, and the storm striders. Now the key thing there is no tunic for Jason, is what you usually see on the wizard, but he was able to use those robes to pretty okay effect in round number 1. And as our players just finish shuffling up, guys, we're going to let them know they're good to go, and we'll be right back with the gameplay. All right, you guys able to hear me? Yep. All right, so yeah, you're good to go. Good luck. Have fun. All right, so DM Armada won the dice roll and has opted for Jason to go first. A pretty smart idea. Take the tempo early against the wizard. Keep a lot of that damage is coming back at you. Pretty minor. No. Wizard starting off with a stir pumped. Let me see Fork Lightning, baby. There it is. Boom. So Fork Lightning has a nice effect that it doubles the pump twice. So Jason is pumping for 4. And so that is going to be a 12 damage Fork Lightning coming at him for 8 damage. So DM Armada pitch 4 for the 4 no rune over there. 8 coming through. Down to 12 already. Jason taking a huge early lead. That's you can't ask for a better turn 1 as wizard. Unless it was, your turn 2. Or if you were the second player, then it would be even better. But yeah, now so we got fresh hands for both players. Except DM Armada is just down 8 life. So Jason commanding lead earlier. But DM Armada has a tempo play, so if DM Armada here can stack up a nice combat turn, it could really kind of neuter what else Jason can do. So DM Armada kind of just considering a little bit of a friendly banter back and forth. 12 life is a little bit scary here for this chain player, though, because if he goes all out, 12 life is very manageable for Jason to be able to burn through all in one turn. There's some lessons in lava chains. There's some sonic boom chains off the back of the storm striders. All right, so here we go. First action coming out from our chain player. Reconsiders it. Maxing it out. Wants to keep himself safe, but also wants to maximize his damage. So we got Shadow of Ursa coming through. The question is, what does he want to banish to keep for later? I would imagine he doesn't have a lot of blood deaths. Oh, there he goes. Seeds of Agony. Look at that. So 2 go again from the Shadow. It is only a blue, though, so not exactly the most optimal, but gets that seed into the banish zone. Jason not blocking. It's only 2 damage. Can't blame him there. So Armada down to 2 cards in hand, playing the seeds. Jason, is definitely keeping track of it. You never want to hear the wizard ask you how many cards you have in hand, because you know that they'll be looking to kill you after that. So seeds set up here. Nope, Soul Shackle. So Soul Shackle first, and then the attack. There we go. No cards left in hand. No resource floating. Consuming coming through. 1 arcane damage coming at him, plus the consuming effect. So this could potentially force Jason to have to discard. But Armada wisely said this could you could just definitely stir in a fort right now and I'd be dead. How Jason doesn't have it. He took damage. He took the arcane damage, but then blocked the 4 from the Consuming Volition, so he doesn't have to discard because Consuming Volition did not hit. So Jason going into his turn with 2 cards. Armada will draw back up. So Crucible coming in for a Voltic Bolt for 6. Guaranteed at least 2 of it, depending on how many cards Armada wants to lose here. Jason, unfortunately, was not able to just show us the 1-2 combo from the Wizard, knock it out on the opposing player's turn 1. That would have been way too spicy, but still looking good. So 3 damage pitch to block, 3 damage coming through from the Voltic Bolt, and that'll be all the cards out there for Jason. So he's going to go in his cleanup and draw up back to 4. Armada's going to have 3 cards to work with, and 1 Soul Shackle pool off the top here. So maybe some additional cards depending on what he gets. So going into the Soul Shackle here, the Banish is going to be a Tome. Darn, what a shame, almost, but nope. Not going to have the use of the Tome this time, so now Armada's deciding what he wants to come out with. Remember, Jason's sitting with 4 cards in hands right now, has the Storm Strider still available, has the Metacarpus nodes. A recheck of the life totals. This could be a big hand here for our Runeblade. Could have blocked another damage there. Opted not to. So definitely likes the 3 cards he's got in his hand. Could have been considering that he might have gotten a Blood Debt card he potentially could have played out of the Banish Zone, but alas, he did not get that. So it could have changed his math up a little bit here. If you're for those Mechanologist players out there that just have the guaranteed boost, you just never know. Ooh, E-Strike coming out. Go again for 5. That's the mode he opted to choose. 1 card in hand, nothing floating. Jason opting not to block the 5. Gonna force the Chain Player. He may not even attempt to attack with this one. Could have just been holding the card in hand. Jason maybe looking to do some damage. Armada deciding whether he actually wants to play this card, keep it in hand, or arsenal it. My guess is definitely considering between the arsenal and the keep in hand. If he keeps it in hand, you could think that might be a blue pitch. Makes a Soul Shackle. That will banish a second card. So 2 cards coming off the top of the deck. And Armada passing through the turn. Jason now has an opportunity with 1 card left in hand. Armada opting not to arsenal and will draw 3. So that would kind of speak to me that is probably a blue pitch in his hand. Jason's starting the turn off with the Talismanic Lens to opt 2. Not exactly a equipment you would destroy if you don't think you're going to have a nice big turn. I would definitely indicate that he has a Sonic Boom in his hands. It's not guaranteed here, though, because the Crucible Pump plus the Sonic Boom is only 4 damage. And if Armada has the pitch for it and wants to give up the cards, he could block all 4 of that. Because he has 4 cards, he's guaranteed to have the pitch, but we'll see if he actually wants to get rid of his whole turn just to prevent the Sonic Boom. Armada checking damage on the start of the fork. It was 12 damage. For those of you watching at home, keeping track, it was 12 damage total on that Forked Lightning. So stir plus the Crucible Pump. That's 4 extra damage. So times 2 is 8. 8 plus 4, 12 damage. Yep, just a confirmation there. Armada's trying to keep his pitch and life total up high enough that he is not just going to get just roasted out on a turn. Definitely consideration from him. So he's sitting at 9. He can block 4. So he's sitting at an effective 13. A stir to Forked Lightning by itself would not get there straight up, but a stir Forked Lightning with double pump from Crucible and Metacarpus nodes would ensure it. So something to consider. Metacarpus nodes functions very similar to the Crucible, except you can pay to activate it as many times throughout your turn as you have the resources on individual damage sources or in individual cards, but it does destroy the equipment at the end of it. Okay, so Talismanic gone. Robo Rapture The action point for Kano is now gone, so he's all off the top of his deck on this turn. Kano, red Aether Spindle for the show. So just a little fix there for Jason's camera. He's trying to having a couple camera problems, but there we go. It's drifting. It's drifting away. I got a little lazy, you know. They make a pill for that. We'll have to send some information Jason's way. So red Aether Spindle is the banish card. Jason still has to pay for it. So you have to pay for the Kano activation, and you have to pay for the cost of the card to actually play it. So pitching the Chain Lightning to activate the Crucible to... Okay, so he did have a Sonic Boom in his hand, but opted not to go with it straight up. Jason is going to go ahead and play the Aether Spindle red, so 4-5 coming in with the Crucible at the moment, and Jason's deciding if he wants to go ahead and break the Metacarpus nodes. A little bit awkward of a turn here for Jason. He has some of the clean combo pieces that he opted to just pitch to the bottom of the deck. So Sonic Boom, Chain Lightning. I would have preferred to see Jason go with a pumped Sonic Boom there. I mean, he could even ensured that he got the Aether Spindle off the top, but in fact opted not to do that and kept that Chain Lightning in hand, because the chain just allows you to start stacking up damage on your turn. It can lead to some huge combo turns as well, because it effectively gives the wizard go again, allowing you to play another instant. But anyways, on that attack, Aether Spindle got in for 1, and he was able to opt 1. And now we're pitching to activate Kano again, and then come in. So he had the 1 resource floating, which allows him to get that Aether Flare, and then he pitched another 3 to activate Kano. All right, that'll do it for the Wizards player turn. Going back to Chain. DM Armada now trying to figure it out. I believe he's on 4 life. I believe he's on 5 life. There you go, 5 life. So this is we're definitely getting into the spicy realm. Both players could, this may just be our last turn. If we go into another turn here, I'd be shocked, because Wizard player could definitely end the game at 5, and Chain definitely can attack enough through to get 7 points in. So Riftbind's going to start it out, pitching Command and Conquer, coming in for only 3 at the moment. It's actually not as spicy as a turn as I thought it was going to be. So, Jason down to 4. So we got 4 to 5. DM Armada at 5. Jason at 4. Also indicated by those 2 dice there at the top. Armada by the green dice. Jason by the blue dice. And that's actually going to be it for Armada. He's going to choose to draw up and pass the turn. You got to think Jason's completely in control here now. Chain does not have the ability to go at instant speed. So this should just be Jason's game. Get some guaranteed damage in there, and then rock on and roast him out on their turn. You have the Storm Striders. You have Kano's activated ability. So pitching the Gaze to activate Kano. Going off the top. Now Gaze has the option to sometimes come back to your hand if you can play it. You like to see Gaze on top as a Wizard player after you've played a spell, because it just free ops. The 3 to activate Kano to play it. You get that right back when it goes to the hand. So, pitching a blue Reverberate. So here we go. Crucible pumped. Voltic for 4. So that's a blue Voltic. Not exactly the most spicy turn, but Jason still has an action point to work with, and he's got 2 cards in hand. No energy floating. But this does match up to the number of no rune that DM Armada has. He can prevent all of this at the moment, but he's losing crucial cards out of his hand, and eventually he's going to hit some Blood Debt cards off these Soul Shackles that he can't get out of the banish zone. Definitely something to consider. at his incept. This could just be a chip away. Jason doesn't necessarily have to straight up kill him here. Armada blocking 3, taking 1. His action is an energy potion to allow him to crack that at instant speed for 2 resources. Energy potions are big setups for combo turns. So we see 2 cards pulled off the top there for our chain player, and you got to think Armada's got to definitely go off here. He's got to have a huge turn. He's got 3 cards to work with. Nothing out of the banish zone, unfortunately. So definitely didn't luck out there. So we got Art of War to start. He's gonna choose. He's considering. He's gonna banish and draw. So here we go. Get that into the banish zone. So he's banishing. And he's pumping. Jason's considering responding to both of the modes. Or not to both modes. He's considering responding to the Art of War after the modes were chosen. So, Armada's at 4, has 1 card in hand. Jason technically doesn't know what it is, but he might have seen it. He might have a little bit extra information on the pitch, but it shouldn't be too crazy. In terms of information there, you think only at 4, you can guarantee a lot of damage there as Kano, especially though they're only sitting at 3. If he has got that, if he would have kept that Chain Lightning in hand, if he would have kept that Sonic Boom in hand, he could have just guaranteed the kill right there. But Jason opted not to do it, allowing the ability to resolve and go through. So Armada drawing back up 2 cards because he banished 1. So now he has 2 to work with. Considering his options. 1 energy floating. No, he used that on the Art of War. He has no energy floating. Excuse me, actually. That's a blue pitch. Excuse me. So he actually had 2 floating there. 1 floating still left. Here I am giving it to you guys wrong, but we got an attack coming in. Mutated mass. 3 damage coming in. Jason just opted to block with a Blazing Aether combo piece going away to the bin there. So that was it for Armadas. He draws back up over to Jason. So Jason going with the Tome. He's going to draw 2, gain 5 life, go back up to 9. A good hand there. I would have imagined, though, that Jason probably could have just ended the game there, especially into the Art of War trigger. You disallow the discard draw. You roast him out for some guaranteed damage, and that should have been the end of the game. But Jason playing a little bit slow, attempting to activate Kano's ability. Banishing a blue Scalding Rain. We have issues. Okay, we were just a little technical difficulty there's by DM. So now Jason's just gonna have to just talk it a little bit more about what each card does. So DM Armada can be versed. His Discord started lagging a little bit, but we're moving in there. So blue Scalding Rain into the banish zone. Jason's taking the 1 floating to play it. Oh no. Reconsidering. You got it. Scalding Rain coming at you. So it's only 2 arcane damage as it is because it's going to be a blue Scalding Rain. Not a red one there. A red one there would have just probably ended the game before he could have pumped it to 5. You're talking 1 damage. You keep sending them down to just keep chipping them away. Eventually Jason will roast this out. You got to think the Wizard player is definitely in control. Armada blocked all 2 of it by pitching a blue one. So we got another Chain Lightning pitched. Okay. Snapback red as an instant. He's able to do that because he's played another Wizard non-attack action card this turn. Thanks to the Kano ability off the top. It's interesting to see these Chain Lightning, these these yellow Wizard specialty cards getting pitched because they are huge combo pieces. So Armada pitching another blue to block all 4 of it, thanks to his 4 null rune turned over there. These are the face down cards in his equipment zones. And then Jason's just going to pass the turn and go. You got to think with that hand, Jason could have just won the game last turn on the Art of War cast, but opted not to. But okay, so he's still there. Maybe he wants to see a better hand. Now he's got an Arsenal card. So Armada coming in with a puppetry. All right, so Bounding Demon coming in for 5. Jason, no blocks, going back down to 4. He's been there before. He'll be there again. Made another Soul Shackle there for DM Armada, and now Unhallowed Rites coming in. So another 4. Another 4 coming in from this Unhallowed Rites. It does have, technically has Go Again, but it shouldn't have effect. It has 2 resource floating. This card technically has Go Again, but he's not going to be able to cast anything out. Okay, here, Jason's going for it. Storm Striders. Crucible. Let's see some damage. Okay, so Metacarpus node pumping up. So that should be 6 damage, and Armada can only block 2. So that'll do it. There for 4. So Jason definitely slow rolled it a little bit, but at the end of the day, still got there. Chain just couldn't stack together a big enough turn to rip those cards out of the Kano's out of Jason's hand. So a Kano player just kind of do pretty much whatever he wanted. It maybe wasn't the most optimal in the world, but at the end of the day, a win's still a win. So great job, Jason. And I think we might catch him again. Gotta love the Wizard play. I'm definitely not complaining about it, but that'll do it for round number 2. We'll catch you guys round number 3 shortly. Stick around, stay tuned. Let us know how you're doing in the tournament right now, in the event, in chat. And we'll see you guys shortly. All right, hey everybody, and welcome back to round number 3 of the inaugural Uncharted Realms weekly event. I'm Brent, sitting next to the one and only streamer to be named, and we're excited to bring you some Kano v Kano action. For those that have been following along, Jason is back yet again on Kano, this time against Emmett. He's running the gauntlet of heroes. He was against Warrior the first round. He was against Chain the second round. It's going to be Bolton Warrior the first round. Chain the second round. Runeblade there. And now the mirror matchup. Kano v Kano. Jason got the first turn, so he just arsenaled and passed. And so now Emmett's going to come in with an Aether Flare red to start things off on his turn. Gets the default tempo thanks to the die roll. But Jason just doing the smart play of Arsenal pass. And Emmett didn't really run through the gauntlet there to activate Kano on his turn. So kind of just a very friendly Wizard matchup. Both of them running the exact same equipment. Keynotes there is no Tunics. And Metacarpus nodes, Storm Striders, no Arcanite Skullcast, which would be pretty decent here. So the Aether Flare didn't come in for any damage. Jason was able to pitch enough for it. It does have the 4 Arcane Barrier. 2 on the Metacarpus nodes, 2 on the Storm Striders. And then Emmett took a look at the top, which could be beneficial. He may be looking for a potion, another 0 cost, wizard spell. There's tons of, it doesn't even have to be a wizard spell, just any 0 cost non-action. There's definitely tons of hits to random off the top like that. I'm a big fan. I like it. So now we're back to Jason's turn. Coming in with his own Aether Flare this time for 4. 1 card left in hand. Looks like he pitched a Chain Lightning for it. So, again, another one of the combo pieces. And Jason prefers to go for some more of the consistent damage over some more of the combo-y turns with the Chain Lightning and the Sonic Booms. He likes to take a different avenue, get those yellow damage, real critical wizard cards down to the bottom of the deck so he'll see them later. Not a bad idea. It's been working for him. He is 2-0 right now. X-0. If you want to call it that way for my big Magic the Gathering players over there. And we see just Emmett respond with his own block 4. So I think we're going to see a lot of this. We're going to see a lot of chip away. So the Warrior or the Kano matchup, the Mirror, that's what I was going for, does a lot of chip until one person spins their hand and goes out, and you just see a response from the other one to burn them out. So right now it's still at 15-15. So we got a Red Reverberate coming in with a Crucible, so it's 4 damage straight up. Jason's going to block 4. Turns the Reverberate off. It Reverberate's one of those key cards for Wizard to allow you to pull stuff out of the hands to continue on with a combo chain or with damage. And Emmett just choosing to go to Arsenal and draw. So Jason, did he just pass?
Is he waiting?
No. Let's see what he's thinking about doing. I know we're back on Jason's turn there. Yeah, he was considering whether going, but Emmett had drawn up. And Jason now considering what he wants to do. Oh no, actually, Jason. All right, so a little bit of wizard confusion there, but no sweat. Jason, he actually just passed, and now Emmett's deciding whether he's actually going to do anything in response on this one. Sometimes the wizard matchup can get a little bit tricky back and forth, so Emmett is going to go ahead and action off. This means he'll have no cards in hand. Well, whatever he spends here, he will not have on his turn as well. Into a Tome, not a bad hit. That's a good hit there for Emmett. Left that one on top. Draw. Oh, look at that. That's actually pretty big there for Emmett. So, key there. He didn't really look to go do damage because Jason still had a couple cards in his hand, but he just tomed out to now he can work with 5 cards in hand, and he had that one in the arsenal. This could be a huge turn here for Emmett if he can chain together some strings. A big key thing to note, though, is that 4 Arcane Barrier does prevent a lot of the guaranteed stringing damage on the Lessons in Lava, the Sonic Booms, the Chain Lightnings. Well, Chain Lightning it doesn't really doesn't have to necessarily hit. So we have Aether Flare now with the Metacarpus Nose pumped for 5. So we may now see a Storm Strider's Innister into Fork Lightning if I'm Emmett with the pumped from Aether Flare. So Jason blocking 4, taking 1. So 1 pump now. Let's see it here, Emmett. I'm looking for that big turn. Pitching the Lessons. Another Metacarpus pump into Snapback at instant speed. So 5 damage coming at him because of the Aether Flare pump. This will break Emmett's Metacarpus Nose, so he is going to lose that Arcane Barrier. So Emmett liked what he saw, and he wants to send it. He had 5 cards plus the one in Arsenal, a total of 6. Like, hey, that's the time to go. I don't know if you can ask for a much better time than that. Jason now deciding how much of this he wants to block. Considerations here, definitely has to be thinking about a Blazing Aether coming out. So Emmett has no action points at the moment. Jason definitely considering Blazing. If he takes a lot of damage here, the Blazing Aether will come at you for the amount of arcane damage you took that turn. So Jason factoring that into his math. Anything he blocks for here technically blocks double if he thinks Emmett is going to come out with the Blazing Aether on his turn. Jason's trying not to lose all the cards in his hand. Throws down an Energy Potion to block 3 of it, taking 2. Down to 12. Now Emmett, he's done a total of 3 damage so far. Still has a Storm Straddles. Is just going to Arsenal and pass. Oh, excuse me. The Robes actually also has an Arcane Barrier there. So that is the 2 off the Storm Striders, the 1 off the Robe, 1 off the Metacarpus. I had initially said the 2 off the Metacarpus, and it shows how bad of a Wizard player I am. Little self kit there, but Jason opting to Arsenal and draw. So Emmett is complete tempo control here, not having to face anything in response. This is his game right now. If he can keep stringing together big damage turns, Jason's going to be in some trouble. But let's take a look at that equipment. Talismanic Lens still available for Jason. Metacarpus Node still available for Jason. And key thing is both Wizard players started at 15 life. Definitely in roastable range if you spend a lot of stuff from your hand. So consideration is definitely to be made. There we go. Jason drawing up. Boom. 4 cards in hand, 1 in Arsenal. Emmett, 4 cards in hand. He was deciding whether he wanted to go. Not surprised he didn't. We definitely wasn't considering it. Blazing Aether cast, holding priority to cast the snapback in response. So pumped up for 4. Jason could theoretically pitch 2 cards out of his hand to block the snapback and take no damage. Oh, he had to pitch 3 cards out of hand. A notable card there was one of them was the Chain Lightning, but that means a Blazing Aether will come in for 0, and that's a big piece gone for Emmett. So Emmett, he is pulling cards out of the hand, but he's losing key pieces. He has no more red snapbacks. One of his Blazing Aether's gone, but the key thing there is he is pulling cards out of the hand. Jason going to his turn and passing. Has 1 card in hand, looking to draw an additional 3 because he's got that 1 there in Arsenal. Eventually, Jason's just going to have the combo. So Emmett's definitely got to be concerned about that. Down to 3 Arcane Barrier means Lessons and Lavas are activated for guaranteed. Sonic Booms are activated guaranteed. So Emmett is going to activate Kano on Jason's instep before he goes to draw. So sees a zap. Is likely a blue zap. Yep, blue zap coming in for 1. It's a 0 cost. He gets to cast it for free. Jason's just going to let it happen. Wants to keep that card in hand. Hey, a damage is a damage, though. Down to 11. The closer you can get down, the more roastable they get. So Jason drawing 3. Back to Emmett's turn. 3 cards in hand to work with. Crucible into Sonic Boom. Pitching the Energy Potion. 4 damage coming at Jason. Jason would be smart to block all 4 of this. It's only pitching. You're winning the long game. Jason is, because all of his cards are going to the bottom of his deck, whereas all of Emmett's cards are going to the graveyard. So Scalding Rain and Voltic Bolt pitch to block. So blue Scalding Rain, red Voltic Bolt. Down the bottom, Jason has a lot of damage spells still coming up through his deck. Jason's going to start off with a Tome. To draw 2 cards. That is going to be his action point, though. Emmett's considering whether he wants to respond. In the tank. Emmett has, in previous turns, just been blind activating the Kano. Yep, here we go again. Going to go ahead and do it. Looking at the top, Emmett is running out of damage spells. He still has some stirs, still has some Fork Lightnings to work with if they're in his deck. But he is... that should start to be a consideration for him. Jason's, if you remember, he pitched the Chain Lightnings. He's pitched Sonic Booms. Here we go, though. Emmett with the Bolt. It is going to be yellow for 3. The problem is it is a blue Voltic Bolt, so 3 damage coming at Jason. Jason's going to pitch the Eye. Gets his opt. Can definitely craft his hand now to block all 3 of it. Emmett, there's no more cards in hand. This is your time to go. If he wants to do it. Decides not to. So Tome goes through. Jason drawing 2. So we might see a activation here from Kano from Jason. Yep, no reason not to. Energy potion, boom, big hit there for Jason. Let's go. You always love to see that. You always love to see it. So Jason, once again, going to his instep, 1 card in arsenal, 1 card in hand, drawing 3. Emmett was not able to do anything with the no resources available for Jason. Did not have 11 points of damage in his hand to go with it. Has his own tome though, so we'll likely see another tome to Kano activation. It's more of a gambly Kano strategy where you're just kind of going off the top. It's not necessarily the worst. It's not necessarily the best, but it is a strategy, and sometimes it gets there. So we'll see. Emmett drawing the 2. The big downside to doing the tome on your turn is the fact that these cards go to your hand, and if you're not able to get them out of your hand, let's say you draw 2 reds, and you can't activate Kano's ability, well, you're not drawing those cards on your instep anyway, so you kind of just wasted the activation. You wasted your action point. But this time we got a red zap coming in. Jason not going to block it, going to 8. Ooh, so Emmett is bringing Jason down to roastable range. This is... Jason definitely likes his hand now. He has the energy potion there as well, so 2 cards in Emmett's hand. Jason keeping it on his turn. No Storm Striders yet. This could be it though. Alright, so here goes. Stir, likely in the Fork Lightning. The question is, how much does Jason want to spend here? How many shields does he want to keep left? So we got Stir in the Fork Lightning. Coming in for 12 total, opting not to use the Metacarpus node, so didn't bust the energy potion for it. So once it definitely keeps some shields up. Smart play here by Jason. That means he's going to be able to respond on Emmett's turn when Emmett goes to do anything, and likely roast him out with the Storm Striders. Jason theoretically could have pumped this by another 2 and get 14 coming in there from Emmett and leave 1 energy floating. If that last card in his hand's a Blazing Aether, I would have definitely preferred to see that. But not 100% necessary. I think Jason just wanting to keep those shields up, not wanting to risk too much. 8 life is pretty roastable though for Emmett, so it's well within Kano's range. So here we go. Emmett deciding what he wants to do. Wants to take a look at the top first. Pitches the gaze to look at it, making a decision. Remember, Jason has energy potion. That's 2 resources. Has a card in hand. Likely up to 3 right there, right? You always gotta figure that the Kano is 50-50. Flip a coin. All right, so here we go. Gaze of Ages. Emmett's gonna want to try to cast another wizard non-attack action spell this turn to allow Gaze of Ages to go back to hand. That gives him a free Kano ability after the opt in effect. Emmett really going in the tank here. Does he think he can get that 8 damage? Remember, he still has those Storm Striders. He's looking at 12 plus whatever Jason has in his hand. So definitely has to take that into consideration. He could only block up to 3 of it. Ooh, taking all 12 down to 3. This is scary. Jason can practically just win this with anything off the top. Just about. Remember, he's got those Chain Lightnings. He's got those Sonic Booms. Jason deciding just to go to instep. So not a Blazing Aether in hand. Blazing Aether in hand would have just ended the game right there. Could have popped the Storm Striders with the energy potion. Blazing Aether pumped up the Metacarpus nodes and come at him for an additional 13. Which would have guaranteed it. And it would have only been able to block 3 of it. Definitely a risky play there, but 3 to 8 is where we stand. Jason trying to move to instep, has 1 card in hand he can pitch again, so still the same amount of shields. Here we go. Emmett's looking for it. Storm Strider's gone. Coming out. Stir. This could be it. Does Emmett have the Fork Lightning? Doesn't have the Fork Lightning. No, that could have been it. But a red Voltic Bolt pumped by 3, pumped by 1, so pumped by 4. So 9 damage coming at him. Jason has an energy potion. Remember, if he wants to keep that card in hand. Also, if Jason has a snapback here, he could literally just pop the energy potion snapback. It is still on his turn. He's still casted a wizard non-attack action. Remember, Emmett's also going to be able to do the gaze. So Jason has to consider that. This could hit here. Emmett could get the gaze, right? So like, let's say Jason can block for 3. Takes 6. Emmett gazes, because it's for free. It goes back, and he opts a Blazing Aether to the top. He activates Kano ability with the gazes that went back to the hand. Blazing Aethers finishes the game. So now Jason's really got to decide if he blocks 4 or not. But then it still actually wouldn't do it. If Emmett gazes to Blazing Aether here, he could just straight win the game. Yep, here we go. Let's see. So Jason can only block 3 of it. Can block 2 more with this energy potion. I think you just hunt for the Blazing Aether here. Or another zap. Whatever. Force Jason to pop that energy potion. This is like we're in the trenches. This is it. Like, this is who's stabbing who. Emmett, I think Emmett just sends this and goes looking for that Blazing Aether. To be completely honest, remember that he also has the robe that he can activate in his turn to get 3 energy to activate Kano, but would need to find a 0-cost spell off the top. I think Emmett has to go for it here. Yep, he came to the same conclusion. You only have to do 4 damage. You can only block 1 of it, so 3 would get in guaranteed, and that would be a dead Emmett. Remember, he's gonna have no cards in hand. All right, let's see it. Come on, Emmett. Blazing Aether at the top. Let's go. One time. There it is. Let's go. It didn't just happen. Another 6 damage coming at Jason. All he can do is block 2 of it. He's going to take 4. And Emmett is going to take this game. Let's go. Kano ran him off the top. Jason pretty much did everything he needed to do there and just came up short. I said you always got to do it. What a gaze. Gaze one of those nice new Crucible cards that really upgraded Kano. For those of us still waiting on the Unlimited, man, what an ending there. Holy crap, Emmett. Sometimes you just get there. Emmett was looking a little rough after that, but man, had Emmett not ended it there, he's ended Emmett, that's for sure. But that'll do it for round number 3. Well, I gotta take a breather after that one. Wow, what a finish! But that'll do it for round number 3. Stay tuned. Catch us back for round number 4. I'm not gonna not guarantee it's a wizard, but it's most likely gonna be a wizard. So come back for some more awesome Kano action, and we'll catch you on the flip side, guys. Hey everybody, and welcome to round number 4 of the inaugural Uncharted Realms weekly event. I'm Brent, sitting next to the one, the only streamer to be named, doing a awesome job with production quality and just displays today. So definitely huge props there. Right now for this round, we got another Kano v Kano action going on here with James Gibson against Emmett. Emmett won the last round for those that were watching at home with a nice ripped Blazing Aether off the top to secure the game out and to win it and move on to this round. Still at table number 1. He's awesome about it. He's like, damn, get me up on this stream. Let's go. But yeah, so anyways, we'll get right into the gameplay here. James was the active player, first player, and is going to start with the tome and then go off the top with Kamo with a lessons. James just going to go ahead and double check how much Arcane Barrier is against him on the table. We can't see exactly what James is running there for equipment, but I assume he's running a Skullcap Tunic nodes. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So he's running, you can't see it just off the edge there, he's running Arcanite Skullcap, Metacarpus nodes, Fendel Spring Tunic, and the Storm Striders there for James. So James coming in with a Lessons in Lava, pumped by the Crucible. This was off the top with Kano. So James just opting to Arsenal and draw because it didn't hit. And now Emmett is going to come back in with the response here. And Emmett wants to cycle out a red Aether Flare. So yeah, so he's able to activate the Crucible as an instant. And it's beneficial to him because it gets that card out of his hand onto the deck, and it recycles the card out because he is the turn 2 player. So great heads up play there by Emmett. Well done. So Emmett just coming in with some hard damage. Crucible into red Voltic Bolt coming at him for 6. James, the Arcanine Skullcap is going to be kind of the big key indicator here. James can kind of feather his life and activate an extra 3 Arcane Barrier and bring him up to 6. You know, could play into effect on the Blazing Aether turns from Emmett. James does have 1 on the Metacarpus notes and 2 on the Storm Striders. So he can effectively only block up to 3 unless he is down underneath life. So Emmett gonna follow up with a red Snapback, so coming at James for another 3. James already took 1 card out of his hands, considering. No, excuse me. He took all 3 of that. Now he threw the 2 cards out of hands. That should actually go to the pitch zone and not the graveyard. So 1 second, we will let him know. Hey, James. Hey, those. Yeah, cool. Sounds good. All right, we're back. We just had to make sure that those went to the pitch zone, not the graveyard. Sometimes it's sometimes you forget. You're not blocking. You are blocking, but you're not blocking. It's a little roundabout way to go about it. You're technically negating damage. Oh, who would have known? So cool. So James just gonna Arsenal and draw and pass it right back to Emmett. Emmett's been in this position before. Last round he was here, and he had a really tempo gameplay against Jason, which then almost turned back around on him. But Emmett found the prayer, the hope, the dreams, Grandpa please off the top for that Blazing Aether to come back and win the game. We'll see if that situation rears its head again or not. But Emmett definitely in complete control for what he wants to do. So here we go. So Sonic Boom coming at James for 4 Arcane. James has up to 6 here if he wants. A section of 3, a section of 2, and a 1. He's got all the wide range of options. James pitching Lessons and Chain Lightning, 2 big Wizard combo cards. Get them back to the bottom. Use them later. 3 into the Skullcap, 1 into the nodes. Yeah, because he initially said Storm Striders, but Storm Striders got 2, so he went into the nodes instead. Has tons of options there. It does shut off Emmett's guarantees on the Sonic Booms, though. That's why 4 Arcane Barrier can be so deadly against Wizards sometimes. Against a very wide Wizard list, denying those guarantees is definitely a problem. So, whoops. You know, I just talked him up. But you know what? It happens. So, James going to go ahead and pump a Crucible with the red Aether Spindle coming at. So that's 5 damage with an Opt X. X's damage dealt coming at Emmett. Emmett can block 4 of it. So, Emmett deciding. Deciding. Everybody's thinking. They're both thinking. Deciding. It got quiet. It got real intense. Both players getting serious. There's a lot of math that comes on the Wizard. Red Aether Spindle coming in. The key here is the Opt X. Allows the Wizard to set up their hands, craft the top of the deck. You know, you think, okay, I get this Opt. I can maybe also, if I Opt a potion up there, I could pitch a blue card, get a potion out of the field for free. Emmett, though, gonna take all 5 of it. Hello. Opt for 5. Oh, no. That's a great turn there from James. The only problem is that Emmett's keeping a full grip. And he didn't mention that he wants to turn off the Skullcap. You gotta be careful, though. I know James has experience in the Kano mirror, and Tin Life is definitely roastable. Both players are in the roast zone. Stir, Fork, Lightning, if you give up your hands, will roast you at 12, as we saw in the last couple of rounds. So James opting to the top, didn't catch where he put him, but he had pretty much the free option, whatever he wanted to do with 5 guards. Like, let's go. Like, he could take 4 into the hand, leave a potion on top, put the potion out there, put 4 in the hand, Blazing Aether on top, whatever he wanted to do, set up a Sonic Boom, anything. So Emmett laying out with a tome. So we're going to see Emmett play off the top of his library, or top of the deck. This is not Magic. Top of the deck for the rest of the turn. Draw 2 cards. Tome also has the option to potentially pump. So Tome can actually be a pretty good card to pull off if you're running into a Forked Lightning. After that, let's say you've opted a couple times and you can go Tome into Stir, and Tome double pumped into Stir into Forked Lightning off the top, or another way to get it out of the hand. You can if like let's say a Tome is on top of the deck there, can definitely increase the Wizard's maximum damage. It's not a common way to do it, but it is definitely something that we've seen before. So Emmett is going to activate Kano's ability and leave it on top, but did not banish it. Crucible right now, no spell yet. So James going into Kano, red Voltic Bolt off the top. Considering Gaze, pitching the Gaze. Here we go, pump Voltic. Here we go, 6 coming at him. Ooh, nice looking Voltic Bolt, shiny. That is a previous promo. Getting spicy over there with the Kano cards, James is. Look at that. I think he's in the process of cold foiling out his entire deck. So if you got a cold foil Storm Striders and you're seeing this, send him a message. I think he's looking for one. Emmett counting cards in James' hands. It's always spooky. You got to remember, Emmett did leave 1 on top, but he did not banish it. So he's not going to be able to cast that card this turn right now. Might not have been a Wizard non-attack action. I know some Wizards have some defense reactions in there. Or it could be an eye if you accidentally hit the eye. It's not usually common, but it does come up. So James breaking his boots, Blazing Aether for 6. Emmett going to have to block this or he'll die. Emmett going to block 3 of it. And this is looking rough for Emmett. James down to 1. He's still going. Yep, snap back for 3. Emmett has to have a blue pitch. Can only block 1, and James does it. Not exactly the normal combos from Wizards. Not exactly the normal lines, but James got there. That happens sometimes. So Emmett was considering stirring into forking. They're talking about Emmett stirring into forking next time, but it would have also allowed James to do it in response. But that'll do it for us here in round number 4. And that was a quick one there, boys. We're ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry, or anything you want to be. It is 2021. Whatever floats your boat works for me, but wow, that was that's what happens sometimes with Kano. It can be a chip away matchup, or if you make a mistake and run out of cards in your hands, you are likely to just get roasted. And Emmett got roasted. I hate to say it, but great job there from James. We get some more Kano action. I'm not complaining. You're not complaining. Well, if you are, I really can't see it, so that's unfortunate for you. But I'm all about it, and I'm the voice coming through the screen, so I guess I win, but nah, you guys are the real winners here. That'll do it for us on round number 4. We got 1 more rounds coming at you, plus a whole bunch of prizes, so stay tuned for that. It should be a lot of fun, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Oh, sorry about that. The mic was muted. All right, so we just finished up round 4. We're going to do a prize randomization. So the prizes for this week, I'm going to go pick in order, and let's see. So the top 3 prizes you can pick from any of the unlimited booster boxes, the Find Center official playmat, or a cold foil Iris of Reality. So we had 10 players in today's event. We're going to roll a dice to see how many times we randomize the list. I'm going to do that. I gotta get the YouTube chat open. Sorry, 1 second. Ooh. Sorry about that. Oh, appears being funny. Here we go. All right, here we go. And I'm gonna roll this. All right, so 4. And then copy paste this timestamp in. The chat. Why is my computer being? Oh my goodness.
Got him.
There it goes. Okay, sorry about that, guys. All right, so put that in the chat. So we're gonna roll this 4 times, and then top 8 we'll get to pick in order from our prize pool. So this is 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Ooh, right. Emmett again.
So it's gonna be our top 8 winners are gonna get pick. Get this timestamp in. So yeah, if you want to, I'll be reaching out so you can pick an order. And then we'll go ahead and get round 5 started. We can continue with the event. Good luck, everybody.
Yeah, Emmett's killing it on the luck today. Oof. All right. Everybody see that? Everybody get their, well, it might still be going. Hey, congrats. Emmett, you're way too lucky right now, man. I'm telling you. Oh my gosh. Yes, I believe just sends, you want to send you a PM?
Yeah, I'll PM everybody here in a
Okay.
second. I just want to get the round started.
Yeah.
That way,
Student names working on the rounds.
That, and then,
Oh, actually, you already got done. Look at that. He's on top of it. Coming back at you.
All right. Yeah, that's nice.
Cool. Good luck, everybody. All right. Hey, everybody, and welcome to round number 5 of the inaugural Uncharted Realms weekly tournament here. It's the last round, but definitely, surely not least. It should be some awesome gameplay. This time we have Kano. James once again graces our presence against an Ira player here on Jamal on Ira. I'm Brent, sitting next to the awesome, the amazing producer, streamer to be named, and we look forward to bringing you guys some great action. Our players have already gotten started into it. James is our turn 1 player, so we're going to go ahead and get right into the gameplay and see what's going on. It looks like James is activating the Crucible by pitching an Eye of Ophidia, so he is opting to. And then coming in for an Aether Spindle, so trying to opt for the damage. And so 5 coming at Jamal. Did not catch how much no rune Jamal has, but we're going to find out later on. I think he has 3, from what I can see. I see a Mask Momentum there at the top, a no rune gloves, no rune boots, and I believe a chest piece no rune. So we'll see. Yep, unfortunately, it gets just a hair cut off on our camera view, but that's no problem. No sweat there. So Jamal considering what he wants to potentially block to it. And so we're a little bit of a thought there. Jamal considering what he wants to do here. This could be a longer matchup. Oh. So a little bit of a recheck on the damage numbers. And so it's going to be 5. Jamal opting to take all of it. And James gets an opt for 5. So, hey, you know what? Who starts at less life? Well, certainly not this wizard. 15 on 15. For one card and an eye pitch, it's a nice looking eye. It is nice and shiny there. You guys can kind of even see the glint on those Metacarpus nodes right now. Ooh, James bringing out the spice today with some of these cards, but definitely has a tough matchup potentially against Ira. It can get roasty for Ira, so Ira's definitely got to be careful. But if this Ira's got Nourishing Emptiness, some Command and Conquers, or a lot of damage, some high damage swinging turns, the wizard could get chipped out right away. So James opting the top and to the bottom and drawing up. So 1 in arsenal for James and 4 cards in hand. Over to Jamal's turn. He's got all 4 of his cards, opting not to use any of them in that round. So his turn 1, not exactly the safest to not block any damage out of the wizard, but Jamal likes what he saw, so he wanted to keep it. So Jamal just gonna lead it off with the classic Ira Kadachi Needle, I believe. This could be Kadachi. Nope, Kadachi Needle. And here we go. Needle coming in for 3. Now, so Needle's a little bit scary here for our wizard player, but if James is running any defense reactions, he could potentially break this thing, and that could skew the matchup very heavily in his favor. I'm not sure James actually runs a lot of defense reactions. I think he actually ended up getting upset at him and taking him out recently. But James opting to block 2 out of the skull cap, 1 out of the tunic because he got chipped away by 1 from that Kadachi, which turned the skull cap on. It does mean that James is going to lose his tunic. But what this says to me, if I'm Jamal, I would be a little bit scared about this. When the wizard player gives up their tunic for free and doesn't want the resources, especially on a turn like this, you may be getting roasted. So Jamal coming in with the Ravenous Rabble, revealing top. Going on minus. Ooh, only coming in for 2. Got minus the pitch value. So 5 minus 3 because it was a blue pitch on top is 2. James gonna take it. Uh-oh. If I'm Jamal, I am worried I die right here. James could just absolutely... There are some lines that just absolutely guarantee this. I know I've definitely roasted out an Ira player on their turn 2, even on their turn 1. You can go ahead and ask my my loving girlfriend. She's an Ira player. How disgusting is that? Unfortunately, but you can't always pick and choose, guys. So just something to keep in mind. You gotta sometimes just live with what you got. So couldn't convince her to play anything better, but I guess it is what it is. Jamal coming in with an Enlightened Strike. But she has definitely received that big roast. So James asking how many cards in hand. None in hand from Jamal. This might be it. Guys, this might just be a super quick one. Back to back. James, no blocks. Oh, this is going to be it. This might be it literally right here. Hold on to your seats. Buckle yourselves in. Get ready. James confirming how many resources floating. That is 1 for those of you playing at home. James took a lot of damage there. He may just pop off. If he can get 16 damage, he straight guarantees this. Very possible looking at Stir to Fork Lightnings, Reverberates into Lessons, into Chains, and the Blazing Aethers can do it. That's like an 18 damage swing right there. Sonic Booms into randoms off top. Not as usual. James is actually going to say that's fine and we can go. So maybe he doesn't quite have enough. I still would have maybe liked to see him do it, even if he just sends Jamal down to a couple damage. James does like his cards, though. Remember, he's got the cards in arsenal and the cards in hand. He could still potentially just straight outrun this. Okay, going for a tome on his turns, and he's going to draw. Oh, no, excuse me. He's going to pump by 1. He's going to choose pump twice. Oh, this is definitely going in. So this is definitely going into a stir Fork Lightning here then, most likely, or just a Fork Lightning without the store. Yep, so pump. This is definitely Fork Lightning coming in here. Oh, because he had it opted on top. That's a Fork Lightning. Look at that. That's why you don't let the Aether Spindle go through. There we go. So, pitch 3 to activate Kano, 3 to cast the Fork Lightning. So, we got 2 from the Tome. So, 2, 3, 4. So, it's just like a stir Crucible Pump. But it's a little bit roundabout way to do it, is what we kind of talked about in the other round about the Tome potentially pumping. But that's still pretty decent. Doesn't come up to as much as Stir does, but Fork Lightning coming in for 12, a block for 3. If James has a Blazing Aether in Arsenal or hand, he just cracks and wins. He's checking math. He's got something. James, I think, thinks he has it. Nope, doesn't like the look. Doesn't like the look, but gonna go on. Just going with that. So James still has his Storm Striders. It's a very explosive game on this one, guys. You blink and you miss it. Wizard going back up to 4 cards. Now Jamal has all of these cards in hands though. And the nice thing about Ira is generally you pitch a blue pitch for 0 to activate Kadachi to get it go again. And you usually have remaining resources, so that sometimes can play an effect. It's a little bit different than, like, say, the warrior who actually has to put the cards out on the field a lot of times, or use those reactions to get that damage in. So Jamal, Kadachi, Needle, no surprise there. Ira doing her thing. Needle coming in for 3. James now considering it. Jamal's at 6, 2 cards in hand, 1 resource floating. You got to figure if you're James, as long as Jamal doesn't have 0 cost attacks, which, I hate to say is pretty common in Ninja, James will likely get both cards out of the hand on the next attack. So we're going to block 3 with the Voltic Bolt. That's a big block, though, because Voltic Bolt could come in for 6. So James definitely likes some other damage in his hand then a little bit better, because that, if Jamal spent all of his cards, he just would win the game right there, or James would win the game right there off that 1 Voltic Bolt. But opted not to do it. It still requires 2 resources for 5, and you got to pay 1 to pump it, and you would also have had to pay 1 for the Storm Striders. So that would have been 4 energy. James just might not have liked it. He may have some better damage up there. Maybe now Jamal's considering how much he actually wants to go in on this one. Closing the combat chain. Doesn't necessarily affect much. It doesn't really do much for Ira to close the chain there. Ira's got a lot of pump, but Jamal just wants to go to Arsenal and draw. But James way okay with this. Not too much crazy. James is very happy at 5 life. 3 cards drawn there by our Ninja player. Jamal staring at a nice grip, but James has got 3 cards in hands to work with. Pitching an energy potion to come up with a pumped what? Pumped Aether Spindle. Oh, you love to see it. He gets the odd for the damage again. Jamal's going to be very... I would assume he's going to be... that'd be Aether Spindle. Sorry about that. Wrong one there. Aethers. You got it. There we go. So that'll fix that. And he gets the odd for the damage dealt. Jamal, if we recall, in the first round, took all 5 of this. Didn't even block. Didn't want to cycle anything out of his hand. And allowed James to set up a very nice turn. Now, James did break his Metacarpus nose during that turn, but he got 2 in here due to a blue pitch from Jamal, and he left them both on top. Scary. And James is gonna walk his turn out with that. So Jamal coming back out, 3 cards coming back at our Wizard player, 3 cards in hand, 1 card in arsenal. Think James might be considering. Gotta respect sigils, red sigils. Those are definitely a commonly played card. So think, hey, maybe you have to do a little bit more life, a little bit more damage to get some of these guarantees. But 4 life is super scary to sit at with the Wizards still having the Storm Striders. Jamal needs to get some big pressure over here. Unfortunately, Nourishing Emptiness there going to the pitch. Red Torrent and Tempo coming in. If it hits go again, it's only coming in for 5, 1 card in hand. I think that there's a Razor Reflex sitting in Arsenal right now. If I was our Wizard player, I would have to be super concerned about that. You block this for whatever, you take a little bit extra damage. Now James is sitting at 5, so he doesn't have to be really that concerned about it. It's a little bit different when you're sitting on 3. But I think with this kind of line, it looks to me like our Ira player is looking at potentially having some attack reactions here. So James pitching a blue Voltic Bolt. Either going to activate Kano or go with the defense reaction. I did say I thought he took him out, but nope, he's pumping. Ooh, James is comboing. This is it. This is the turn. Storm Striders popped. Let's see what this card is. Forked Lightning coming at Jamal for 6 with 1 damage floating. Could still be a snapback in James's hand. That could guarantee this. So 6 coming at it. Jamal can block 3 of it. So Jamal can go to 1, and then a snapback would end the game. Jamal doesn't have the pitch for it, is what he says. Yep, and James did have the snapback in hand as well. We knew it. We saw it. James is going to figure out what he had. Okay, push the point. Yep. It didn't have... He had a red pitch. A red pitch meant he was going to die there. Did not have enough to block it. James, once again, going to go ahead and make this a quick round for us. Kano winning every single one of our matchups today. Look at that. You can't hate it. You gotta love it. We'll see some Wizard roasting action. And that'll do it for us here on round 5. Thanks everybody for coming out. Let us know what you think, how it was. Drop a comment, come hang out. Don't be a stranger. We'd love to see you here at this event or at our next event. So come on out and have some fun. It's a weekly thing, so should be a great time. But anyways, that'll wrap it up for us here in round 5 for our tournament for this weekend. And yeah, we'll catch you guys at the next one.